2p or not 2p? That is a question.
It was only a matter of time before we decided to tackle one of the pre-grouping era's most popular railways. So, we are reinforcing our fleet of 00 gauge pre-grouping locos with a remarkably rebuilt Midlander. We present to you the Midland Railway 483 Class 440, the ancestor of the LMS 2P. As the turn of the last century approached, the Midland Railway wanted to improve services and modernise, and with a variety of routes between London and the north already available from different railway companies, it was important to be mindful of this fierce competition. You only have to use the side entrance to St Pancras Station to realise just how close some of the competition were. Always with profit in mind and the imposed restrictions on loco weights due to a number of bridges, the Midland wanted a way to achieve this goal without it being too costly. Thankfully, this conveniently coincided with the experimentation of loco wheel arrangements throughout the late 1800s. The 440 arrangement would eventually win the arms race over the singles, and a multitude of these were built, designated as Class 2s. With further developments in boiler design and the availability of superheaters, loco technology had moved on quite a bit throughout the early 1900s, and the Midland Railway decided to rebuild a few classes to modern standards. Utilising a variety of parts from the existing Class 2s, the rebuilds received new frames, new larger driving wheels, new cylinders, and the freshly developed Belpaire G7S boiler, fitted with a Schmidt superheater. These rebuilds were assigned class number 483, and the first rolled out of Derby Works as number 494 in February 1912. By the time the LMS inherited the fleet and completed the final batch of rebuilds in 1924, they had been assigned the power classification 2P. The design for the 483 class would go on to inspire a plethora of well-known LMS locos such as the 4P compounds, making it a key link between the evolving designs of the early pre-grouping era and the later designs of the Big Four. The class was held in such high regard in Midland days that number 502 was allocated to royal train duties and painted in a special livery which was kept immaculate at all times. In 1913, two 483s were loaned from the Midland and ran trials on the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. Having proved their worth, 5 more locos were rebuilt to bolster their fleet. BR inherited 165 Class 483s at nationalisation. The engines continued to find use on secondary service across the former LMS network, whilst a few continued to operate on the former Somerset and Dorset, including piloting Bully Pacifics and often immortalised in the famous Ivor Peters photos. Sadly, none of the class survived into preservation, with withdrawal and scrapping taking place throughout the 1950s. An unceremonious end for such a hard-working engine. Our 00 gauge rendition of the 483 class includes detailed tooling variations representing both the earlier and later rebuild batches of the loco to accurately portray them throughout their lives. Tooling variations include superheater dampers, flush or riveted smoke boxes, chimneys, domes, safety valves, water dome covers, tender toolboxes, bogie brakes, and exhaust injectors. Each model also includes NEM Coupler pockets on the tender, factory-fitted speakers, a 21-pin DCC socket in the tender, cosmetic inside valve gear, and a Firebox flicker with a dynamic fire draw effect fitted to every model. You can choose from 12 different versions in liveries that cover the loco's lengthy history. These include several in the striking crimson of the Midland Railway, a Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway version, and a nice selection for both LMS and BR2. Finally, we couldn't resist adding the Midland Railway Royal Train version with its cab-side royal cipher. That wraps up the Midland 483. Orders can be placed via our website or from any of our official retailers. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to keep up to date with all of our projects, subscribe to our newsletter for more information. Thanks for watching.